49 cents. That's what one serving costs. One fruit available at any grocery store in America. And a published clinical trial showed it improved insulin sensitivity in just 6 weeks. That fruit is the blueberry. But before you click away thinking you already know everything about blueberries, I want you to stay with me. Because most people eat them the wrong way, at the wrong time, and unknowingly eliminate up to 70% of their benefits. And here's the part that I genuinely want you to sit with for a moment. There are 7 fruits sitting in your kitchen right now. 3 of them are helping your blood sugar. 4 of them are damaging it. And nobody, not your doctor, not the label on the package, is taking the time to tell you which is which. Today, I'm going to rank all 7 from the worst to the best. Number 7 is the fruit that most seniors eat every summer, fully convinced it's completely harmless. Number 1 is the reason a woman named Doris saw her A1C drop from 8.4 to 6.1 in just 90 days. Her endocrinologist asked her what she had changed. She said, "One fruit." He wrote it down. My name is Dr. Jocelyn, and today I'm going to show you exactly what Doris did, why it worked, and which fruits you need to stop eating immediately. But before I rank a single fruit, 2 quick things, and they matter more than you might think. If you're over 60 and keeping a close eye on your blood sugar, please subscribe. This channel exists to give you the kind of thorough, caring explanation that a 12-minute office visit simply never has time to provide. Then, leave one word in the comments, the fruit you eat most days of the week. I read every single comment, and they shape what topics I cover next. That's it. Now, let's get into it. First, let me explain why fruit is so genuinely confusing for anyone trying to manage blood sugar. Because fruit is not just one thing. It's not like salt, where more is worse and less is better. I want you to think of fruit like a medicine cabinet. Some bottles inside that cabinet are there to help heal you. Some will make you feel worse. And a few of them look almost identical on the outside, yet what's inside is completely different. And I think once you understand what's actually happening inside your body, everything becomes much clearer. Here's what happens the moment you eat fruit. The sugar in fruit is primarily fructose. Unlike glucose, fructose doesn't go directly into your bloodstream. Instead, it takes a detour. It goes to your liver first. Your liver has to process it. And in small amounts, especially when the fruit's natural fiber is still fully intact, your liver handles it beautifully. Your blood sugar stays relatively stable. No dramatic spike, no sudden crash. But here's the part I want to make sure you truly understand, because almost nobody explains it this way. When you eat fruit without its fiber, when you juice it, blend it, or choose a fruit that's naturally low in fiber and high in sugar, that fructose floods your liver all at once. Your liver becomes overwhelmed. It starts converting that excess fructose directly into fat. Even worse, it triggers something called hepatic insulin resistance. Your liver gradually stops responding properly to insulin. And once that happens, your fasting blood sugar begins to rise, even while you're asleep, even if you haven't eaten for 12 hours. That's exactly why some fruits help control blood sugar, while others quietly work against you. So let's rank them, all 7. As we go, I want you to keep a mental note of which ones are already sitting in your kitchen, because by the end of this video, you'll likely want to walk in there and make a few thoughtful changes. Number 7, watermelon. This is the fruit I mentioned in the first 30 seconds. The one most seniors reach for every summer because they believe it's the safest option simply because it's mostly water. And yes, it is mostly water, about 92%. But that's precisely where the misunderstanding lies. Watermelon has a glycemic index of approximately 76. To put that in perspective, that number is actually higher than a spoonful of ordinary table sugar, and the fruit contains very little fiber to slow down the absorption of that sugar. So that large, refreshing slice on a hot July afternoon enters your bloodstream almost as quickly as drinking a can of soda. The water tricks your body into believing nothing happened. Your pancreas, however, knows exactly what happened. I want you to think of watermelon as an occasional treat. A few small cubes served alongside a handful of nuts. That's a perfectly reasonable choice. It is not a fruit to eat by the bowl while relaxing on the porch. That bowl creates a meaningful blood sugar spike, and about an hour later, you'll very likely feel the energy crash that follows. Number 6, pineapple. Pineapple has earned a reputation as a healthy fruit largely because it contains bromelain. Bromelain is an enzyme often promoted for supporting digestion and reducing inflammation and swelling. And while those benefits are real, here's what I need you to understand. Bromelain does absolutely nothing to improve your blood sugar. Meanwhile, pineapple has a glycemic index of around 66, along with a substantial amount of rapidly absorbed sugar and very little fiber to slow its effects. Canned pineapple packed in syrup is even worse. Pineapple juice is worse still. Why? Because once you remove the fiber entirely, you're back to flooding your liver with fructose, the exact mechanism I described just a few moments ago. Fresh pineapple eaten in small amounts after a balanced meal that already contains protein and healthy fats is something your body can generally handle without much difficulty. But eating pineapple by itself on an empty stomach is essentially a rapid sugar delivery system in tropical packaging. The taste is delightful. The timing and portion size are everything. Number 5, mango. People call mango the king of fruits, and they say it as though that title is automatically a compliment to your health. But here's the reality. One medium-sized mango contains approximately 45 grams of sugar. That's more sugar than you'll find in many candy bars. Its glycemic index is around 60. Now, mango does provide valuable vitamin C along with carotenoids, the natural orange pigments that offer genuine, well-documented health benefits. But for someone who is actively trying to control blood glucose, the sheer sugar content of mango easily overwhelms those benefits. I like to tell my patients to think of mango as a dessert. A few thin slices are completely reasonable. But half a mango chopped into your breakfast bowl is likely to produce a blood sugar reading you'll watch climb on your glucose meter and wonder where it came from. Number 4, the banana. This is the fruit you'll find in almost every kitchen across America. And this is where things become especially eye-opening, because bananas perfectly illustrate the entire message I want to share with you today. A banana is not a fixed food. It changes dramatically as it ripens, and that change has a direct and measurable effect on your blood sugar. A firm banana with green tips contains a large amount of resistant starch. Resistant starch is a type of carbohydrate that your body cannot digest quickly. It moves more slowly through your digestive system and has only a minimal effect on your blood sugar. But as that banana sits on your kitchen counter and the peel develops brown spots, that resistant starch gradually converts into simple sugar. A heavily spotted, overripe banana can reach a glycemic index of approximately 62. The very same banana, a completely different metabolic effect, just 3 days later. And here's where most people make the mistake. The exact same mistake they unknowingly make with blueberries, which I'll come back to shortly. They choose the softest, sweetest, brownest banana, eat it by itself first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, and then wonder why they're shaky, hungry, and searching for food by 10 o'clock. A half of a green-tipped banana eaten with a spoonful of natural peanut butter or a boiled egg is a perfectly sensible choice. A brown, overripe banana eaten alone at 7 in the morning is almost certain to produce a blood sugar spike, followed by an energy crash that leaves you reaching for something sweet before noon. So there you have the first 4: watermelon, pineapple, mango, and the overripe banana. 4 fruits that may already be sitting quietly in your kitchen while working directly against the very goal you're trying to achieve. Now let's move on to the 3 fruits that actually work in your favor. Number 3, the apple. You've heard the saying your entire life, an apple a day, and it turns out there's quite a bit of truth behind it, with one important condition that most people miss entirely. You have to leave the skin on. The apple's greatest advantage comes from pectin. Pectin is a soluble fiber found primarily just beneath the peel. Inside your digestive tract, it forms a gel-like substance that dramatically slows the absorption of sugar into your bloodstream. The peel also contains the majority of the apple's polyphenols, plant compounds closely associated with a healthier and more stable insulin response. Peel the apple, and you've essentially discarded the most valuable part while keeping the sugar. Turn it into applesauce or apple juice, and it becomes even less favorable than a peeled apple. A whole apple eaten with its skin has a glycemic index of around 36, making it one of the gentlest fruits on this entire list for blood sugar control. My recommendation here is almost unbelievably simple. Eat the whole apple. Keep the skin on. That's it. 2 small changes in how you've been eating something you already love. Number 2, grapefruit. Grapefruit has the lowest glycemic index of every fruit we've discussed today, approximately 25. It also contains a natural compound called naringin. Naringin is the bitter flavonoid responsible for grapefruit's distinctive, sharp, tangy taste. Research has associated this compound with meaningful improvements in insulin sensitivity. On paper, grapefruit is close to the ideal fruit for supporting healthy blood sugar. But here I need to draw a very clear and important line, because as a physician, I have a responsibility to share this with you. This is the one fruit on today's list that can genuinely be dangerous for some people, and it has absolutely nothing to do with sugar. Grapefruit blocks an enzyme in your intestines called CYP3A4. Your body depends on this enzyme to break down many commonly prescribed medications, including numerous cholesterol-lowering statins and several blood pressure medications. When grapefruit blocks that enzyme, those medications can accumulate in your bloodstream to levels they were never intended to reach. That is not a minor concern. That is a conversation I want every single person watching this to take seriously. So, if you take a statin or a blood pressure medication, please do not add grapefruit to your daily routine until you have called your pharmacist and asked whether your medication is on that interaction list. It only takes one phone call. That phone call matters. If you are not taking any of those medications, grapefruit becomes a quiet, powerful ally for blood sugar control. Half a grapefruit in the morning, eaten in whole segments so you keep all of the natural fiber, has very little impact on your blood sugar and a meaningful positive effect on your insulin sensitivity. Now we've reached number 1, the blueberry. The 49-cent berry I mentioned at the very beginning of this video. Here's exactly why it earns the top spot, and why most people unknowingly eliminate nearly all of its benefits before they even finish breakfast. The key active compound in blueberries is anthocyanin. Anthocyanins are the deep blue-purple pigments concentrated in the skin of the berry. They help improve the way your body's cells respond to insulin. A published clinical trial found measurable improvements in insulin sensitivity after approximately 6 weeks from blueberry compounds alone. As a physician, I find that kind of result remarkable for something that costs 49 cents a serving. But now, here's the mistake I promised to reveal at the very beginning. And I want you to listen carefully, because this is the part most people get completely wrong. Most people destroy those benefits before they ever reach their bloodstream. They blend blueberries into smoothies, which breaks apart the fiber and floods the liver with fructose, the exact mechanism I described earlier in this video. They bake them into muffins loaded with refined flour and sugar, or they sprinkle them over a bowl of sweetened breakfast cereal, telling themselves they're eating healthy. As a result, whatever benefit the blueberries could provide becomes buried beneath the blood sugar spike created by everything surrounding them. When you do that, you cancel out most of the advantage. You're holding the bottle of medicine while pouring it straight down the drain. The correct approach is almost startlingly simple. Eat half a cup of whole blueberries, fresh or frozen, because freezing does not reduce their anthocyanin content, alongside a source of protein and healthy fat to slow digestion. Whole, not blended, not baked, not buried under sweetened cereal. That's it. That's the entire method. Now, let me tell you about Doris. She was 64 years old when she first came to me with an A1C of 8.4. For those who aren't familiar with that number, your A1C reflects your average blood sugar over approximately 3 months. An A1C of 8.4 is typically the point where physicians begin having serious, direct conversations about starting insulin therapy. I remember sitting across from her and knowing that the changes we made next would matter enormously. 90 days later, her A1C measured 6.1. Her endocrinologist genuinely asked what she had changed, because a reduction that significant almost always means a new medication has been prescribed. She answered with just 2 words: 1 fruit. What Doris actually did was this. Every single morning, she mixed half a cup of whole blueberries into plain Greek yogurt. The protein and healthy fat in the yogurt slowed the digestion and absorption of the fruit. No smoothie, no sweetened cereal, no muffin. Just whole berries and yogurt. And she made one additional change that I want you to pay very close attention to. She stopped drinking the glass of orange juice she had consumed with breakfast every single morning for 40 years. Because that glass of juice, the one she had always believed was part of a healthy morning, had been quietly undoing the benefits of her blueberries every single morning before she even walked out the front door. A 49-cent serving of one of the least expensive berries in the grocery store, eaten whole with protein, replaced a glass of fruit juice that had been raising her fasting blood sugar overnight for 4 decades. 3 months. From 8.4 to 6.1. Her endocrinologist wrote it down, and she called to tell me the news with a voice full of quiet pride. That kind of moment, that's exactly why I do this work. So here's exactly what I want you to do, starting tonight. Before this becomes just another video you watched and then moved on from. Step 1. Walk into your kitchen and identify the 4 fruits we've discussed: watermelon, pineapple, mango, and any banana that has become soft, overripe, and covered with brown spots. You don't have to throw them away. You simply need to stop thinking of them as everyday snacks and start treating them as occasional desserts. Eat small portions after a balanced meal that already contains protein and fiber. Never eat them by themselves on an empty stomach. That one shift alone can make a measurable difference. Step 2. Tomorrow morning, eat half a cup of whole blueberries, fresh or frozen, with plain Greek yogurt or a small handful of nuts. Not in a smoothie, not sprinkled over cereal, whole. Let that be your morning. See how you feel. Notice whether you're still hungry an hour later or whether you're steady and satisfied. That steadiness is your blood sugar staying stable, and it's something your body deserves to feel every morning. Step 3. If there's fruit juice in your refrigerator, orange juice, apple juice, or any other variety, finish the glass you already have and let that be your last one. I say this gently but clearly. Fruit juice is one of the fastest and most consistent ways to undo every positive habit we've talked about today. It's one of those quiet daily choices that can work against your health for years before anyone puts the pieces together. Step 4. Keep whole apples with the skin on in a bowl where you'll actually see them. On the counter, on the kitchen table, somewhere visible. Eat them whole. The skin is where the majority of the benefit lives. Don't peel it away, don't juice it. Just eat the apple the way nature grew it. Step 5, and this one is not optional, and I say that with the full weight of my clinical responsibility behind it. If you take a statin or a medication for high blood pressure, call your pharmacist before adding grapefruit to your daily diet. One phone call. Please don't guess, don't assume, and never, under any circumstances, stop taking a prescribed medication because of something you watched online, including anything I've shared here. Choosing the right fruit is the easy part. Drug interactions are the part that can send people to the emergency room. That phone call is 5 minutes of your time. Make it. Here's the deeper lesson I hope stays with you long after this video ends. Doris changed 2 things that morning. She added blueberries, and she eliminated the orange juice she had been drinking every day for 40 years. That second change, the removal, was every bit as important as the first. In my experience as a physician, this is one of the most consistent truths I see. The fruit you choose to add to your breakfast often matters less than the drink you've been consuming every morning without a second thought. The one that has been quietly raising your blood sugar before you've even had a chance to sit down and eat. That silent, slow, daily process is often where the real damage happens. And it's also where the real opportunity lies. Because once you see it clearly, you can change it. Doris did. Thousands of patients I've worked with over the years have done the same, and so can you. That's exactly what we'll cover in the next video. The 3 morning drinks that most adults over 60 consume every single day that are quietly raising their fasting blood sugar, and the 2 drinks that can genuinely help bring it down. One of them is very likely sitting in your hand right now. If you want your numbers to move the way Doris's did, if you want to be the person who walks into their next appointment with results that make their doctor ask, "What changed?" that is where we're going next. I'm Dr. Jocelyn, and I'll see you in the next video.